So from the case study of the Alaskan Way viaduct replacement, let's continue with the other concept that we deal today in project and project management. So as you can see, the picture that I showed you, the suspension bridge that have some strange issues because of collaboration, etc., the interpretation of the need, the way that we manage the project process problem that can lead to disaster. And the disaster will be exaggerated when we have to multiple participants involved, and the way that different participants, different parties look at the project differently, it will be also a challenging issue. So how to align participants to make a goal, objective of project is significant for the project engineer, project manager, etc. So just give you a picture to show you, demonstrate how different people think for certain project different in here. So as you can see, the first is sponsor, the people that have money. This is what they expect for their project. But then when it's specified, transfer to request to get the other party, to designer, etc. That is what it will be specified. And from that interpretation of the designer, the engineer, that what should be designed. And as you can see, if you are an engineer and you want to design something like that for the cable, apparently the cable here no load, that is much easier than design this, or it's much easier than design that one. And then go to the manufacturing, the construction, etc. That is what they're looking at for this project. And go to the installation, put in the user guides, etc. As built, that's what they show. But the user, the end user, this is what they want. So the translating the information from the beginning, the need, the market demand, to the end user, it may not be on the same line. So that's why we need a good planning for the project to make sure the whole project life cycle runs smoothly and meet the expectation and exceed the expectation of the project. Give you one example of Santa Rosa Junior College in Santa Rosa, California. So like a library in our sister college, Southwest Florida, Southwestern State College, SSWU. And you can see here that I attracted from website. The project finished when I was consultant in California. It completed somewhere 2006, so 14 years ago. And just as you can see here, very busy work. I'm not going to ask you to read all of this, but you have design team, multiple design team involved just for a library, college, state college library, planning, library staff, all of that construction team, many people, many parties involved. So that make managing project also complicated. Give you another view of the heavy construction project, like typical interstate highway project. What are the involved? You have federal level, Federal Highway Administration, U.S. Secretary of Transportation, provide funding, evaluate the need. State environmental protection. For example, Florida, we have Florida Department of Environment Protection, Florida Department of Transportation, FDOT, State Inspector General, all of that. And then local, we have Building Department, Fire Police, Citizen, other interested group, Business Roundtable. And then from there, go to us, that more that you focus on, designer, civil engineer, transportation, architect, environmental engineer. Then go to construction. We also have a group of manager, supplier, engineer, and consultant work, etc. So bottom line, as you can see, multiple participants involved in project. Now, the last concept that we deal with, we talk about project, and in the previous video, I mentioned the project. It can be a few days, like you do a semester project, team project in your class. But the project video in here is the civil environmental engineering project. And when I say that, it can be classified into four based on our class. So it can be residential construction. It can be just like residential housing development. Some of you do the internship land developments. Those are the residential construction. It involves all the disciplinary structure, geotech, construction, environmental, stormwater management, wastewater management, water supply, utility, electrical, fire protection, all of that. Then we have institutional commercial construction, just like something I talked in the example, academic building 9, which is under construction at FGCU, that is institutional construction. And then commercial construction, just like build office building, all of that, that is commercial construction. And then industrial construction, like build a power plant, oil refinery plant, all of that is industrial construction. And the last one, infrastructure, just like we do the build the wastewater treatment plant, water treatment plant. Then heavy construction, bridges, highway, all of that, infrastructure. Transmission lines. So as you can see, the type of construction project that we do cover all of the civil infrastructure project that involve different discipline in engineering and other discipline as well. So with those four type of project that we are focused in the skill set that we want to do in this class, what are the characteristics? And that will be a concluding slide for this class. And I want you to capture what the difference between these four type of construction project that we are talking about. When I say construction project, but as you recall, in terms of the life cycle, we emphasize from the perceived needs, market demand, to conceptual planning, feasibility study, to design and engineering, and procurement and construction, startup for occupancy, operation and maintenance, and disposal of life. So those involve all the discipline that we cover, including the two disciplines required for this class, either environmental engineering major and civil engineering major. So what are the characteristics of this type of construction? Let's talk about the residential. You can name it a few characteristics. The first, mostly the wood products. If you think about your house, etc., the truss, only the wood. Inside the stucco, the wood products. Light gauge steel, not heavy duty steel for the residential. And because, you know, everyone can, literally can learn, get generalization, form the firm, etc., and then you can join the business to build the residential construction. In the past, many students in this class also a handyman, a subcontract, a contractor to do the home renovation or other trade for the residential throughout Southwest Florida. So with that, as you can see, because everyone can penetrate in this market, that really have a high competition. And when you have high competition, you will have low overhead. Okay, so low overhead, low profit margin, all of that. And then it's strongly influenced by interest rate and economics. Just think about the 10 years ago, 11 years ago, when we have great regressions, then the interest, the economy going down, residential stuck, no construction. Just back last year, a few years, construction booming, still now booming, even the pandemic, as you can see. So that is strongly influenced by market, interest rate, etc. Because why interest rate? Because when it's low, for example, now people go out to buy the house, they demand, start residential construction. The next is institutional and commercial, just like academic building, office building, etc. So what are the what are the characteristics in that setting? The first is technically complicated construction system. You need to have MEP, you have to have a cable, you have to have on of that air conditioning, that technically complicated construction system involved. So with that, we need to have numerous specialty contractors. Just I show you the slide previously about the library in the Santa Rosa Junior College that have multiple participants, multiple specialty contractors, because for that reason. And that different from the residential construction. The next one that we are talking about is the infrastructure, heavy construction. So the infrastructure, just like water treatment plant project back last year, a few years ago, in Lee County Utility, they built a Green Meadows water treatment project. Back a few years ago, they renovate, expand the Three Oaks wastewater treatment plants. All of that in 2 years, infrastructure. And then heavy construction. Now you can see multiple road working on resurface, or in the Corkscrew and I-75 working on that intersection interchange. So those are the heavy construction. What are the characteristics of this infrastructure and heavy? The first is the money, mostly financed by public, taxpayer dollar, gasoline, tax, all of that. But recently they have a public-private partnership, etc. So get some expertise money from the private into, but bottom line, mostly financed by public, especially in the US. And the interesting characteristic of this one is that the second one, as you can see here, use the large quantities of the relatively small materials for this project. Just think about the building a road. There's large quantity of, for sure, right? But the small material, just like sand, aggregate, gravel, asphalt, all of that. You will talk more about that with Dr. V from the material standpoint, or sustainability with Dr. Thompson or Dr. Komisa. But bottom line, as you can see, use a large quantity of relative small material that for heavy and infrastructure project. And the last one, type of project that we're talking about is industrial. And I use the project that at a case study to multiple lesson in this class, that is the power plant built in Edwardsport, IGCC, integrated gasification combined cycle power plant. Basically, they convert coal into gas, and then to the turbine and generate power. And we will talk about that later on. But that is time of industrial project. Oil refinery plant, those are the industrial. So what are the characteristics for this? First, they require highly specialized expertise. And again, that you see that it complicated construction system, but this is a specialized expertise and complex technology. Complex technology. So with those two, and you can see, because specialized expertise, complex technology, not many contractor can be able, or designer can be able to deliver the engineering or construction of this type of project. So only a big construction company, just like Bechtel, AECOM, Jacob Engineering, all of that will deliver typically in this type of industrial project. And schedule driven, because technology absolutes, we need to deliver this project as much as possible. So those are the type of project that we talking about, discuss when we tailor the skill, the tool, the technique for planning and control the project in this class. And that's what we cover. So with that, we done for the first lesson one. Again, the lesson one is about conceptual. When you go to lesson two, it's more with involvement with calculation, etc.